Hello everyone, we are pleased to welcome you to this meeting presenting Wavestone's revenue for the first half of the fiscal year 2022-2023. Today the speakers are Pascal Imbert, co-founder and CEO of Wavestone. Hello Pascal.
Hello Justine, hello everyone.
And Laurence Toupy, CFO of Wavestone. Hello Laurent.
Hello everyone, hello Justine.
Laurent, the floor is yours.
Thank you Justine. Let us begin with a review of Wavestone business during the second quarter of 2022-23. Over the period, revenue came to 115.1 million euro, up 12% compared with Q2 on the previous year. At constant scope and at constant forex, organic growth came out of 5%. Note that the acquisitions carried out since April 1st, 2021, that are Everest Group Consulting, Y Innovation, New Vantage Partners, Nomadeis and Penn Partnership, are not included within the scope of consolidation. Regarding Chloe's Consulting, it will be consolidated from October 1st. Furthermore, the working day impact in Q2 was unfavorable and amounted to minus 1.4%. In the end, for H1 2022-23, revenue was up 9% to 237.1 million euros. At constant scope and on a constant forex basis, growth came out at 4% for the period. The consultant utilization rate was down in the second quarter, owing to the arrival of numerous new employees in September. For the first half overall, the utilization rate came to 75%, in line with the normative level for the firm, versus 77% for the whole of the 2021-22 fiscal year. Regarding prices, positive trends persisted into the second quarter. As a result, for the first half overall, the average daily rate stood at 880 euro, up 3% compared with 854 euro for the whole of the previous year. At constant forex, the average daily rate came to 872 euro, up 2%. The pace of order intake was maintained during the summer and at the start of September. The order book stood at 3.7 months at end September versus 4.2 months at end June and 4.3 months at end March. This decline is mainly due to the growth in our headcount anticipated for the third quarter of the year. Regarding human resources, the pace of recruitment remains steady throughout the first half. We are on track to achieve with our full-year roadmap, which is, for the record, to recruit more than 1,000 employees over the fiscal year 2022-23. The staff turnover rate, however, remains high. On a rolling 12-month basis, it came to 19% at 8 September, compared with 19 at June and 18 in March. In the end, Wavestone added 132 new employees to this headcount over the 6-month period, bringing the total to 3,864 at 8 September 2022. Now, let me hand over to Pascal.
Thank you, Laurent. Beyond the quarterly numbers, this evening's presentation also gives us the opportunity to review the 2 acquisitions we carried out recently in the UK. First, Penn Partnership, a consulting firm specialized in operational and digital transformation projects for clients in financial services and life science. Then, Chloe's Consulting, a consulting firm specialized in IT strategy, which advises large companies in the UK and also in Europe in sectors such as industry, energy and utilities, retail and consumer goods. The merger of the three teams, Wavestone UK on one hand, Penn Partnership and Coeus Consulting on the other hand, significantly expands our footprint in the UK and opens new development prospects. The combination of business, digital, and cybersecurity skills will enable us to offer our clients a broader value proposition, which will enable us to better address their major transformation projects. With these two acquisitions, our ambition is now to become a major player in the consulting field in the UK. For a more comprehensive presentation of fact and figures about Coeus Consulting and Partnership, let's have a look at the following slide. You can see that Penn Partnership has a headcount of 60 employees, upon which Penn Partnership leverages some independent consultants, roughly 40 independent consultants working at one given time for Penn Partnership. The company generated revenue of £19.6 million for the year ended in March 2022, with an adjusted EBITDA margin of 15%. We acquired 100% of the capital of Penn Partnership for an enterprise value of £22.5 million, with an additional consideration of up to £7.5 million, conditional on the performance of the firm over the next 18 months. The firm has been consolidated in Wavestone's financial statements from August 1st, 2022. Coeus Consulting employs a staff of 45 and relies on around 10 additional independent consultants. Estimated revenue generated by Coeus Consulting at September 30, 2022 amounts to roughly £9 million, with profitability markedly higher than at Wavestone. We acquired 100% of the capital of Coeus Consulting for an enterprise value of £17.5 million, with an additional consideration of up to £3.5 million, conditional of the performance of Coeus over the next 12 months. And the firm will be consolidated in Wavestone's financial statement from October 1st, 2022, even if the acquisition took place in the month of September. The market context remained robust during the summer and at the start of September, which enabled us to generate Q2 revenue in line with our roadmap, thanks to a good order intake, while our sales prices held up well. In line with the previous quarters, the human resources challenge remained the main focus of the company. In this respect, as announced before the summer, we have made adjustments to our salary policy in order to remain perfectly competitive in the market without causing any deterioration in our sales prices, thanks to in our sales prices to salary ratio, thanks to steady growth in our sales prices. During the third quarter, demand remains strong overall, driven still by the same type of projects, major digital transformation projects, M&A deals, and issues in terms of cybersecurity, and more about sustainable development. We observe initial signs of a slowdown, nevertheless, for certain accounts, notably in the public sector and in the automotive sector, which calls for caution for early 2023. In terms of financial performance, let's look first at the first half of the year, for which we expect profitability to be down compared with the year earlier period, which had benefited from exceptionally low operating expenses owing to the COVID-19 pandemic. Whereas this year, on the contrary, we stepped up our spending on recruitment and human resources for obvious reasons. Therefore, our EBIT margin at September 30 is likely to be around 12% compared to 14.6% at end September 2021. Still, for the first half, owing to the acquisitions of Nomadeis, Penn Partnership, and Coeus Consulting, as well as the seasonal nature of our firm's business, we are likely to see net debt amount to around 16 million euros at end September versus a net cash position of 60.8 million euros at end March. If we look now at the whole of the 2022-2023 fiscal year, despite the caution I mentioned regarding the last months of the fiscal year, we perfectly confirm our financial objectives. For the record, these objectives are an annual revenue of over 505 million euros for an EBIT margin of around 15%. These objectives are understood to be on a constant forex basis, and they exclude, for the time being, Penn Partnership and Coeus Consulting. When the first half results of the current fiscal year are released in early December, we will update our full year targets to take into account these two acquisitions. In terms of external growth, we will continue to adopt a targeted approach to acquisitions. After the last acquisition made in the UK, we do not plan any further deal in this geography over the coming months. We therefore give priority to the United States, but we do not rule out tactical deals in other geographies. So these were the comments we wanted to make tonight on our first half revenue, and we'll be now very pleased to take any questions you might have.
If you have questions, you can unmute your mic.
I've got a question, Pascal. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Great,
Good evening.
thank you. It's great to see you. Good evening. I just had a quick question on margin developments. So totally understand just costs coming back from the pandemic. Is all of that kind of expected and kind of within your budget for the year, or is there, potentially some downside to your 15% target for the whole year? And how are you thinking about kind of margin longer term? Is 15% kind of the right number to sort of think through that this business can operate at? Or, I don't know, it's such a crazy time in the world with inflation and everything. So just any kind of general directional thoughts would be great. Thank you.
All right. Do you want to take that question? Or?
Yeah, perhaps. Just to have some comments about the margin. Last year, the margin during the first semester was 14.6%, which it's a very high level for us. It was due to two things. We have a very high utilization rate, and perhaps a bit too high, and teams are perhaps in red, in fact. And also, as Pascal mentioned, we had not all the overheads during the first semester of last year due to the COVID effect that continue on this first semester. So now we're coming back in a more normative situation for us, with about 12% of margin in the first semester. We forecast a normal sequence between the first semester and the second semester, with improvement of the evolution of the margin of the second semester higher than the first one. So that's why we confirm the 15% of the margin all over the year. And just to also remember that last year the margin over the whole year was 15.9%, which was quite exceptional. So that's why we focus on 15% this year.
Yeah, we are returning to our more normal seasonality, and we just remade a forecast until the end of the year with all the practices of Wavestone, and so we saw that in fact the year will be very different from what happened last year, and there is a factor of higher growth in the second part of the year, which will help us to sustain a higher profitability than the one, in fact, we had last year, because overheads will be lighter given the growth of the revenue. So quite confident about our target of around 15%.
Great, thank you.
And now, if at the end of the year we land at 14%, I owe you a bottle of champagne.
Fair enough.
So if there is no more question, Pascal, I'll let you conclude.
All right, I'd like to thank you once again for your presence at this video conference to present our half-year revenue figures. And I remind you that we will post our complete half-year results on December 6th, on December 5 in the evening. And we'll be delighted to host you once again to comment these results. Have a good end of day, and talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.